Have you ever wondered why some photographers, especially professionals, can take way better photos using the same camera and lens that we use? And this happens every single time. They have a secret that they don't tell you. And no, it's not editing. Now, every single photographer, especially professionals and on YouTube, everybody will tell you that the trick to get a really good photo is to shoot in raw file format and then edit it later in Lightroom or Photoshop. What they don't tell you is that you can improve the quality of your photos massively even before you start editing, even before you open Lightroom or Photoshop. And this step is called raw image pre-processing. And every professional photographer knows it but doesn't talk about it. So in this video, I will talk about raw image pre-processing, what it is, how it works, why you should even do it. I will also show you how you can pre-process a raw image and make it better and get the best out of it using a raw image pre-processing software. And for this video, I'll be using the DxO Pure Raw 6. In fact, this video is supported by DxO Labs and they've given me this discount code that you can use to get 15% off on all of their products. It won't mean anything to you. Maybe I'll get a commission out of every purchase that you do, but still you get 15% off, right? Now, before I start telling you all about raw image pre-processing and how you can do it, let's start by understanding what is a raw image and why raw image pre-processing is actually important, why you should do it. Now, every photographer knows that shooting in raw file format will give you total control over your editing. Why? Because raw file format contains unprocessed, untouched data directly coming from the camera sensor and lens. It does not touch anything, it does not correct anything, it just gives all the raw data back to you so that you can have total control over your editing. You don't lose any information, you don't lose any details, you have all the highlights, shadows, blacks, and you get the idea, right? Now this is something an average photographer knows, right? This is a common knowledge. However, what professional photographers actually know and they don't tell you is that raw image file format is also not perfect. Now this is what really happens when you shoot in RAW. When you press that shutter button, the photo captures exactly what your camera sensor and lens saw but does not fix anything. Now, there can be a host of things that can go wrong at this time. If your exposure is off, your highlights can be blown out and cannot be recovered, or your shadows are too dark and noisy. Then you might be shooting in bad lighting conditions, which means your photos look too blue or green or yellow and they have strong color cast. Then the lens itself that you use can cause distortion or softness over the edges or simply dark corners or vignetting. Then if you are shooting in low light, especially when you are doing landscape photography or wildlife, you might be using very high ISO, resulting in too much noise in your photos. Then there are other factors beyond your control which can impact the quality of your raw images. For example, the dynamic range of the scene that you are shooting in can exceed far more than what your camera can handle, leading to loss of detail in the bright or dark areas. Now, since raw file format does not fix anything, does not apply automatic corrections like JPEG does, imagine that all these issues are still visible in your raw file, especially when you import it directly in Photoshop or Lightroom and start editing. So basically you are editing directly on a raw file which has all these issues. So imagine that you and I take photos from the same camera and same lens. But I can't wait, right? I have to share it on Instagram. So I'm dumb enough to import this raw file directly into Lightroom and Photoshop and I start editing. Whereas you are smart enough to import this raw file directly into a raw image preprocessor first, then you clean it, optimize it, remove the imperfections, and then you import it into Lightroom or Photoshop and start editing. Tell me who will get a better photo? Obviously you. Now that you know what is raw image pre-processing and why you should do it, let's actually see how it works. So how do we actually do raw image pre-processing? Can we use any tools? And if yes, which one? Do we have to pay for it? We will answer all these questions now. So you can pre-process a raw image by using a pre-processing software, right? It sounds very simple and it is. A pre-processing software is basically a software that takes a raw image and removes the imperfections, fixes the noise, it fixes the lens distortion, vignetting, it fixes the overblown highlights, brings out the details and a host of different things. And in the end, it gives you a clean, optimized raw image that you can use to start your editing, right? So you have a really good foundation even before you open Lightroom or Photoshop. So obviously now we know that you get a massive advantage in the quality of your photos when you do raw image pre-processing, right? Now the question is, should you actually do raw image pre-processing? Does raw image pre-processing make sense to you, or is it just another step or a waste of time and probably money if you buy a software? Now, if you ask me, in my experience, there are two types of photographers who should really do raw image pre-processing. So if you don't fall in these two categories, then you can skip it. So the first category is professional photographer. So if you are getting paid for any kind of photography that you do, so you might be doing real estate photography, or you do brand work for clients, or you do couple photo shoots or brand photo shoots and photo shoots for restaurants, food photography, or whatever. If you are getting paid for photography, if you make a livelihood out of this, then you should definitely do raw image pre-processing in your workflow. The reason is that you will see massive advantage and massive improvement in the quality of your images. You are going to deliver very high quality images every time, and most of the work that you do in professional photography is through recommendations and work. So your clients will speak highly of you compared to someone who is not doing this and overall their portfolio doesn't look as good as others or yours. Secondly, if you are a photographer who really wants to improve your photography, you should really do raw image pre-processing, no matter if you are doing it for money or not, right? The reason is that obviously this will integrate in your workflow and it will improve the quality of your photos massively. This means in the long run, if you choose to share your photos online or make a website out of it, or decide at some point to do photography as a side business, you are already set. You will already have photos which are of high quality, and all you need to do is put it on your website. And another thing is that usually all the social media sites and all the websites put a lot of compression on the photos. So it's really good to start with a really good high quality photo so that it remains of high quality even when it's compressed. That said, it's also okay if you don't fall in any of these categories and you are happy where you are and you don't feel the need to do more in photography, you are shooting for yourself, then it's also okay to skip this step. But if you really want to improve your photography, then it's my opinion that you should do raw image pre-processing or include it in your workflow. So now the question is, which image pre-processing software should you buy or get? Are you good with a free software, or should you spend money on a paid software? Now this one's a bit tricky and you might not like my answer, but I'll share it nonetheless. You see, there are a lot of pre-processing softwares in the market, both free and paid ones, and all of them are good. Almost all of them use really powerful AI models to remove imperfections from your raw images, and if you compare the results from any of them, you can't tell much difference. I myself use Adobe Capture Raw and Darktable, which is an open source free software sometimes, and I myself can't tell difference between the quality of both, right? Both of them are good. But here's the thing. Now at this point, I will gladly pay money for DxO's Pure Raw 6. I won't go into much detail because this video is not about Pure Raw 6, but I will say that Pure Raw 6 basically uses AI model that is trained not on generic data but DxO's own lab tested lens and camera profiles. 100,000 of those combinations train those models, so you don't get a generic result, you get a very customized improvement. If I have to draw an analogy, you are not going to a gym, you are actually getting a personalized fitness trainer with a diet plan, right? That said, whatever you choose, if you really want to improve your photography, I feel that you should actually do raw image pre-processing, or at least try it. Right, so this is all about raw image pre-processing and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I'm very curious to see if you tried. So if you tried, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking for a discussion. I always look at my comments and see if you have shared anything, so just do it. And also, if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and give this video a thumbs up so that the algorithm knows you want to keep seeing content like this. Again, I really appreciate you giving me your time. I know your time is precious. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you keep taking photos, you keep enjoying photography. I'll see you in the next one.